Welcome to my show. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to try and touch base a little bit on trying to explain the energies of today and the situation of what it is. Um, a lot of people are on, it's very confusing within people's minds of understanding because it is a spiritual situation. Life is spiritual. So we are born from spirit, manifested into this realm. So we're coming into the Christ consciousness. Christ, people say Christ is the last name of Jesus, but it's you put it that way. And so coming into the higher frequencies and ascending with Mother Earth, ascending with um, you know lifting up the divine feminine and rebalancing the universe through taking back the symbols and taking back the numerical codes of divine creation, taking back the animals, freeing the ancestors out of the sacrificed blood, um, realigning the sacred water and the kundalinis, and uh, re-alchemizing the hermetic rainbow. And there's a lot of stuff within spirit, within the sacred waters, that people don't understand and comprehend when it comes to their chakras, their DNA, their symbols, everything, their tongue, their language that they speak, because their tongue is not able to, it's not, and nothing is connected within the mind, within the speech, within the heart, within the belly, within um, the lower realms fully to be able to connect lower realm, middle realm, higher realms into the trinity of the collective within the codes of the dragons and the Ouroboros and the center point of the lotus within re-alchemizing Buddha's rainbow. Um, that's a lot right there, isn't it? So there's a lot of misinformation. People, this galactic stuff, and there are people who are experienced souls incarnated now. There's a lot of first timers also. There's a lot of demons incarnated at this time, and you know, taking back things and reversing black magic, um, and taking the power back. The circle, the Ouroboros, the feminine, and the phoenix returning and rising within the feminine, and the men who are on the path of regeneration and transformation back into the violet flame of the sacred water and the fire, because the ones who fell stole the fire, which is an element of creation. And if you have, when if you're one who is not part of creation, um, you are not allowed to have any sacred water. You're not allowed to have any elements. And so we have taken back the fire, the elements, and been able to mix it in with the water, the sacred water, the transmutation of the violet flame, and freeing the ancestors. And so what has been taking place, is the going into the underworld and everything of ancient history and realigning stuff to where there's nothing, there's no more below. People talk on the as above, so below, but what does it really mean when you get into the below levels? And what is really above? What is, there's all kinds of stuff. So within the spirit, within the knowing, of transformation. It's all coded in taking back the hermetic codes, and to the point of where this outside perspective of what Masons are, um, we take back what this whole timeline of the over masculinity of getting into the feminine. This is the fall out of the tree. So you can take it back to those words, but can the energy of it be understood today? Because people think that it is in a distant past, but within the people today and within the collective of what is taking place is protecting the sacred water, rebuilding the temple. So when you're rebuilding a temple, it is a within, without, as above, so below, because it all has to do with the symbols. It has to do with time and space, with Maya's calendar. So, what is within the spirit is the question. What is within the spirit of humanity? What is within and what has been embedded within creation all of this time? There have been many wars over time, spiritual wars, where there have been humans in the way who don't know what is taking place. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff that reflect a lot of situations today that are reflecting ancient history that no one's able to pick up the energies on, because what has come into the collective as a whole over time still being the fallen ones within the feminine, to bring them down into the society that you're seeing today. If you look outside, when you look truly look into this realm, people, that's the problem. People don't want to look. They can't comprehend. They can't comprehend what is happening today, because this is the fall. This is the repeat. This is ascension. The return of the rainbow prophecy. But if you've never ascended, how would you know what to expect? How would you know? What would you do? Like, people are actually born, they're outside of Buddha's temple, acting like they're within it. But you don't have the key codes to get within the center of the lotus. Look how long it is taking for the Asians, for someone to become a Buddha master. It takes many years living up in the mountaintops of India and Asia. People here in today's timeline in America are New Age. They don't have the consciousness of understanding the timelines and the initiation of what it really is to get back into God's kingdom, because you're born in the fall. People are dressing up as clowns. They don't know if they are male or female. They're Baphomet lovers, demonically possessed. And today, what has been released on the people is the same thing that has happened in ancient history. Look what's happening in Europe. Look what's happening in the UK. In America, they don't understand it. They don't understand what's happening in America and the frequencies. It's the same thing. It always has been. It's the same frequency, because there's nothing outside of the box. There's nothing outside of creation. There's a natural birth and there's an abortion. These are the aborted ones. The ones with no fire. The ones with no water. They only have fire. So you want to talk about Jesus and sacrificing and why they sacrificed all the animals and brought fire, because that's all they have. So we tried to flood them out, but they survived. So it's a fairy tale of where we are today, because no one's in the knowing and the understanding of ancient history and the processing of Divine Mother's situation and Creator's situation and Gaia's situation and the situation that happened with the Pleiadians. Because no one can understand the truth of what happened in Utah and what's going on out there. American Christians, American Jewish people think that ancient history doesn't reflect them today. They think that nothing of ancient history reflects their being today. Their fake Christianity, their fake Jewish stuff. You have no idea what is on the surface and what is coming for the people, because they want the blood. But then again, those are only words. They're only words. The blood is a frequency. There's water in the blood. Transmutation, the Christed frequency. We're at the end. The temple has been rebuilt. You must have blueprints to the temple. People want to talk about their ancestors. It usually falls back in Scottish, Africa, Native American, whatever you be. My ancestors are something different. So you want to talk about being Jewish and the Jewish Kabbalah and the frequencies that come along with understanding what came out of Egypt. Going into those realms and that transmutation of what happened in Atlantis and Lemuria and the fallout of the tree. Someone return back into heaven on earth, but don't understand the blood sacrifice that is taking place. They don't understand. They can say the words, abortion. Why do you think they abort the children today? Because it's the same exact thing as they did in the Nordic times, when they stole all the babies out of the bellies of the feminine. But it's only words. It's only history. They, the fallen, will not be able to help themselves. They are fallen men, and they only want one thing. This today was the frequencies of rage, chaos, jealousy. Frequencies that don't belong in heaven. It's a part of frequencies that are not of creation. They don't belong. Those are the downward spiral frequencies. You go up. They are not allowed in the door. They are not allowed back into Divine Mother's porthole. Divine Mother's temple. Maya's calendar. Because the calendar has been fixed. And everything has been reversed. But who's going to tell you? The TV? Nobody out there knows. The water has returned. Who's going to tell you? Because you hear of a prophecy many moons ago doesn't mean you're in it. Well, you are in it. Doesn't mean you understand it, though. That's the thing. prophecy's been going on since the beginning of time. You know, there's a rainbow in the Bible, and then I hope you talk about a rainbow prophecy. But there's a flip side to the rainbow prophecy. Look out there today. There's portholes. There's a door into God's kingdom. No one knows where it's at on the land. That's the thing. Because no one has the spiritual information of understanding what the truth is. Have a good day.